Greetings, fiends. It's your old pal Horror Mike, back with a redo of last Friday night's live show featuring some top films from the 21st century. And I'm talking science fiction, horror, and fantasy films, specifically from the year 2000 through 2024. Now, I know many of you prefer 20th century genre films, sci-fi, horror, and fantasy films. I do as well. And needless to say, comparatively speaking, so far, there's been relatively slim pickings in the 21st century, 2000 to 2024, as opposed to, for example, the last quarter of the 20th century, 1975 to 1999. That being said, there have been dozens of very good genre films released in the 21st century, and we're going to take a look at those now, plus some films that I didn't get to Friday night. So there's going to be some new footage here. So what we're looking at right now is the Tubi page that I have set up, and we're going to dive into these films soon. But first, let's get to a couple of films that aren't currently on Tubi. One of my personal favorites from the 21st century, it's Bone Tomahawk from 2015, written and directed by S. Craig Zahler. Not only is this a great horror film, obviously it's a Western unto itself. It is truly a fantastic horror Western. Now, that is a subgenre that has seen many a film, at least from the 1960s, perhaps even before that. You may recall Jesse James Meets Frankenstein's Daughter from 1966. Now, that is an early one, so at least for a good 60, 70 years, we have seen a variety of horror westerns. It just so happens that perhaps the greatest horror western ever was made in 2015, and that is Bone Tomahawk. As it says, in the Old West, a sheriff and his posse must rescue several townspeople from cave-dwelling cannibals. And as we can see here with the cast, Kurt Russell, of course, Patrick Wilson is in this, Richard Jenkins, absolutely fantastic, David Arquette, Lily Simmons, Matthew Fox, Sid Haig, and there you go, folks. Bone Tomahawk 2015. And naturally, I have a trailer for Bone Tomahawk.
This is Sheriff Franklin Hunt. Identify yourself right now, or I'll shoot you dead.
There's a situation.
Mrs. O'Dwyer was abducted. You know who did this?
They don't have a name.
How many of them do you think there are?
It won't matter. You have no chance against any number of them.
I'm riding out with Mr. O'Dwyer.
As will I. I've killed more Indians than everyone here put together.
Ambush!
You seeing all this?
We didn't know what it was like.
We'll make sure all this has value.
Next up, from 2008, one of my favorite quote-unquote zombie films, Pontypool. It's not what you see, it's what you hear. In Ontario, Canada, the radio host of a talk show in the morning in Pontypool town, Grant Mazzy, works with his producer, Sidney Breyer. One snowy morning, the journalist Ken Loney reports that a violent crowd is trying to invade the office of Dr. Mendez downtown. Then the radio receives confused information about a possible infection in Pontypool by witnesses. Out of the blue, a crowd tries to overrun the radio station, and Dr. Mendez breaks in through the window. Grant, Sidney, and Dr. Mendez note that Laurel is infected, and they lock themselves in Grant's soundproof cabin to seek protection. Dr. Mendez finds that the virus outbreak is caused by words spoken in English. In other words, folks, It's the outbreak of a neurolinguistic virus. And fittingly, the tagline for Pontypool is "Shut up or die." Now, this is one of the most original films I have seen in the 21st century. There's no doubt about that. One of my favorites. Was also apparently a stage play because it takes place in one location, and that is the radio station in Pontypool. It's also available on YouTube as a radio play. The top three actors are Stephen McHattie, who absolutely deserves an Academy Award for his portrayal as Grant Massey. He is so damn good. Lisa Hewell, who I've seen in other films as well, is really good as Sidney Breyer. Excellent. And of course, our reporter in the Skycopter, Ken Loney, played by Rick Roberts, is excellent. You never see him. All through the radio, folks, as he's describing the hell that is descending upon the entire area. Unfortunately, it is not on Tubi currently. You can find it. Just look around. You'll be able to find it.
Ken, listen to me. It sounds like you're okay where you are. So don't move and you just stay there and we're gonna...
Cannibals, and some of them are naked and they're like dogs. And their eyes, that look, it's just startled, kind of wild.
Oh, God, Grant.
Oh, okay, Ken, listen.
No. You don't understand. I'm looking through a little door. There's a little door at the base of the door. It's some kind of cat door or something. And I can see the... Okay, let me move so I can see the... No! Look out! Oh, God! They're pulling two people out of a van!
Who are they, Ken? Who are they?
There's a bunch of them. They're people. But they're crazy. They're pulling these two out of the van. Oh, my God! They're fighting them. They're actually carrying them to the ground in their mouths.
Okay, folks, we are back to Tubi. Now, these are, of course, all films that you can watch for free on Tubi. Tubi is an ad-based platform, so you're going to have to watch some commercials. The Crazies. Now, this was originally a 1970s film by George Romero, and it was later remade in 2010. Personally, I think the remake is better than the original. Granted, they had more of a budget. That is absolutely true. There's no doubt about it. I love George Romero. Okay. I think he's, is a fine director. This version of The Crazies is spectacular. If you have not seen it, you should really check this out. Let's go to the particulars. The Crazies 2010. A small town becomes a massive hysteria-filled crime scene when one by one, neighbors, friends, and family are possessed by homicidal behaviors. Strangely enough, this kind of sounds like Pontypool, right? But instead, this time you see all of what's going on, right? In gruesome detail. Directed by Breck Eisner, the cast is excellent in this film, including Timothy Olyphant, Radha Mitchell. It's one of those films I got to watch every couple of years. It works on pretty much every level. It's so well done. And of course, I've got a trailer for The Crazies.
You know what?
What?
We're in trouble.
Next up, we have The Cabin in the Woods. This is absolutely one of my favorite films of the 21st century. I am so glad that Tubi has it. If you have not seen The Cabin in the Woods, it's one for the ages, folks. Now, let's talk about budget here. The Cabin in the Woods is one of the biggest budgeted horror films ever made. The budget was in excess of $30 million. That is huge for a horror film. Typically, I do not like CGI. There is CGI in this film. However, there's a lot of practical special effects. And I think the marriage of the practical and CGI works really well. As it says, 5 college friends in a remote cabin are attacked by supernatural creatures and manipulated by technicians monitoring their every move. Starring Kristen Connolly, Chris Hemsworth is in this, Anna Hutchinson, Fran Kranz, Jesse Williams, directed by the great Drew Goddard. What can be said about this film? I mean, it is a meme. You know, the technicians. Richard Jenkins, of course, is the lead tech. He's a meme, for Christ's sake, when they've got the whiteboard with all the creatures and they're taking bets and everything. It's got the Lovecraftian appeal to it. It hits on all cylinders. It is such a great satire of horror films. And the good news is that I do have a trailer. The bad news is that I can't show it because the trailer has got a freaking song playing throughout it. So if I play it, then I'm going to get demonetized instantly. Next up, the Belko experiment. The Belko experiment from 2017. 80 Americans working in a corporate building in Colombia, the country of Colombia, are put on an office lockdown and told over the intercom to kill each other or be killed. It's the perfect corporate nightmare fever dream, folks. And it is really well done. Great cast. John Gallagher Jr. is in this. Michael Rooker, Tony Goldwyn. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. The Belko Experiment. It's a different type of film. It's a different kind of animal. That's one thing I can tell you about the Belko Experiment. There is no boredom factor, okay? It's just balls to the wall.
Those files this morning. Belko is a non-profit organization that facilitates American companies in South America.
All employees, lend me your full attention.
Hey, it's Jesus.
Your chance of survival increases by following my orders. Your task is simply this. Kill 3 of your co-workers, or we will kill 6 others.
Hey, all the lines are dead.
We need to evacuate the floor.
Mikey, come on, it's a joke, man.
Hey, listen up, everybody. Whoever's doing this, they're having a little fun at our expense.
Five, 4, 3, 2,